First off, some things you'll need before you start shading are a sharpened pencil, a good eraser, clean paper, a visual reference, and a good source of lighting. When choosing a pencil to shade with, you have something called the pencil hardness scale. This scale is to let people know how hard the graphite in the pencil is. A pencil with harder graphite, such as a 6H pencil, will make a much lighter line than, let's say, a 6B pencil, even if the same amount of pressure is applied to the pencil when drawing. For this demonstration, however, I will be using a 2B pencil. Another important tool to have is a good eraser. Your eraser will not only be used to erase any mistakes you may make, but it is also a very useful tool when it comes time to highlight and add finishing touches to your piece of art. It is very important that you use an eraser that does not smudge or leave any color on your paper. When shading, you use something called the value scale. The value scale is a scale of color shades, with white being on one end of the scale and black being on the other. With the use of the scale, close observation of the object you are drawing, and practice, you will be able to give your piece of art a realistic feel to it. Before you start to shade your piece of artwork, I suggest practicing shading by making a value scale with a pencil and paper. Doing this will be highly beneficial to you. Lightly draw your object with the use of your visual reference. It is important to draw lightly because during and after the process of shading you will be erasing some parts of the line, and you want the lines to be capable of erasing completely. Observe with the use of your visual reference where the shadows are and if they fade at all. Begin shading where the darkest shadows are on your object on your drawing. Start off with lightly shading and go darker by applying more pressure to the pencil where needed. This way, if you realize you make a mistake early on, you will be able to fix it easier than trying to erase dark shading. When shading, try to minimize shading lines from showing. You may do this by shading slower, shading with smaller strokes, and keeping the same line direction. If you have to change the direction of your line to fit the shape better, do it gradually. Refer to your visual reference periodically so your shading is accurate as possible. Don't shade if there is nothing to shade. Adding in shading where it isn't necessary can throw off the realism of your drawing. Now, observe your visual reference to see where any highlights may fall on your object. Carefully incorporate these highlights in your drawing with the use of your eraser. Also, where there is no shading at all on the outlines of the object, erase the outline there. In real life, 3D objects don't have a legitimate line around them, outlining them from their surroundings. Instead of keeping the outline, make a suggestive line. A suggestive line is an incomplete line in which is obtained through dashing, for example, that suggests that there is an outline there.